The Doctor of Death, the Harold Shipman story. Welcome to Cortex Crime. Tonight we examine one of Britain's most shocking betrayals of trust. The story of a man who hid behind a doctor's coat to murder hundreds. His name, Harold Shipman. To his patients, he was kind, reliable, and always available. To investigators, he was a monster who turned medicine into murder.
Harold Frederick Shipman was born in Nottingham, England in 1946.
As a teenager, he watched his mother die from cancer, her pain eased only by morphine. That image would shape his entire life. He studied medicine at Leeds University, married Primrose Oxtoby, and by 1974 became a family GP. Patients described him as polite, quiet, and reassuring, a man who'd visit your home and call you by name. But beneath that calm exterior, something sinister brewed. In 1975, Shipman worked at Abraham Ormrod Medical Center in Todmorden. Colleagues noticed something odd, missing drug records and large morphine orders. Soon he was caught forging prescriptions for his own use. He was fined, briefly suspended, and sent to rehab. Afterward, he was quietly allowed to return to medicine. No one imagined they'd just given a killer a second chance. From the late 1970s to 1998, Harold Shipman practiced at his surgery in Hyde near Manchester. He was trusted completely, especially by elderly women living alone. His method was chillingly simple. He'd visit their homes, administer a lethal dose of diamorphine, the same drug that once eased his mother's pain, then calmly certify the death as natural causes. Sometimes he'd even send condolences to the family. Victims included mothers, grandmothers, retired teachers, and shopkeepers, ordinary people whose only mistake was trusting their doctor. He would later confess that he felt powerful, like a god deciding who lived and who died. By the 1990s, local undertakers began to notice something strange. Too many of Shipman's patients were dying. Nurses joked grimly that if Shipman visited you, you might not wake up. In 1998, Dr. Linda Reynolds, another GP in Hyde, reported her concerns to the coroner. Police began a quiet investigation but found nothing conclusive. Shipman continued killing, right under their noses. Everything changed on June 24, 1998. Shipman's longtime patient, Kathleen Grundy, a wealthy 81-year-old widow, was found dead in her home. Shipman signed the death certificate old age. But when Grundy's daughter, a lawyer, checked her mother's will, she was stunned. It left nearly all her estate, worth over $350,000, to Harold Shipman. The signature looked forged. Police exhumed Kathleen Grundy's body and found lethal levels of diamorphine in her tissues. It was the beginning of the end. In September 1998, Shipman was arrested at his home. Police found over 10,000 patient files and typewriter ribbons he used to forge wills. Investigators cross-checked hundreds of death certificates. The numbers were staggering. He never admitted guilt, yet evidence suggested he murdered at least 215 people, possibly more than 400. The quiet doctor of Hyde had become Britain's deadliest serial killer. Shipman's trial began in October 1999 at Preston Crown Court. He faced 15 counts of murder and 1 of forgery. The jury took only 6 days to convict him. In January 2000, Harold Shipman was sentenced to life imprisonment, the judge declaring he should never be released. He showed no emotion, no remorse. In 2004, Shipman hanged himself in his prison cell on the eve of his 58th birthday. For the families of his victims, it was a bitter end. No confession, no closure. The Shipman inquiry, led by Dame Janet Smith, concluded that he had murdered at least 250 patients over 23 years. The case forced sweeping changes in how doctors are monitored and how deaths are certified in the UK. Harold Shipman's story is more than a record of death. It's a warning. Evil can wear a smile, trust can be weaponized, and power left unchecked can destroy. This was not just the failure of one man, but of a system that looked the other way. You've been watching Cortex Crime. If this story gripped you, subscribe for more deep true crime investigations, where we expose darkness, reveal truth, and remember the victims.